Okay, guys. Again, all of you might have got this email, right? In the week one, if you scroll it down, I posted the link for the thing which I did not record for the first week. Okay, so make sure you note that thing is there. And we are into the third week today. So we're going to cover 2-3 charts in Tableau and a couple of business cases. Week 4 and 5 is going to be a little hectic for you guys because you have to create a database using this file. You have to sort, ignore the last one. Sometimes needed. I'm going to post a link right now for the video that I recorded. Okay, guys, these videos are up there. Okay. So next week, which starts after the class is over, you have to do a couple of forums. Let me make sure these forums are visible. Okay. Okay, so it's gonna be display until, let's say, today 25, right? So April 1st. Okay, so that's there. Why this is not available? Oh, available. Okay. Okay, guys, if you go to week 4, log on to the Blackboard, go to the week 4, and these two forums, which are again the business cases like we discussed in class, you have to read it at home and post your comments. Okay. Now, when you might have read the syllabus, so when you write the post, it has to be at least 50 words. Okay. Do not write one liner or two liner. Okay. If you want the full credit, and you have to at least do, I would say, 2 to 3 posts. Okay. More the better. But at least do 2 to 3 posts. Okay. Do not repeat what others have said. Okay. Because you're not adding any value when you're doing that. Okay. Uh, so so when you click on this one here, it's going to take you to the discussion forum, and these are here. You have to go here, and you can create a thread. Okay, I have given you the permission to create the thread. Probably what I should do is not give you permission to create the thread here, because no, I don't want. Okay. So you cannot create a thread anyway, right? Okay. So I need to create a thread for you here. I'm gonna say week 4 1. So do you know how to, have you worked on the discussion forum before? Okay. So why don't you log on to the Blackboard and click on the first discussion forum. Okay. Okay. So once you go to week 4, right, you click on any one discussion forum. Let's say this one is going to take you to the discussion forum. So right now you should be able to see first 3. Okay. This one, you're just going to click on this one here. Okay. And it's going to give you a thread. So here you have to click on this thread here, and you can reply to this thread. Are you with me? So you just reply to this one, and you can write your comments here. You can attach the file, diagrams, whatever you want, but you can write the comments here. Okay. And everyone is just going to keep replying to the thread. You can reply to the original thread, or you can reply to somebody else who has posted something if you want to comment on what others have posted. Okay. Yes.
When you said 2 to 3, is that per case study or is that total?
No, per case study.
Okay.
Per case study. Okay. Make sure all of you understand that. Okay. Any question that you have about the discussion forum, let me know right now. Okay. So again, per case, you have to post at least 2 to 3 postings. Each posting has to be 50 words. There should not be any repetitions. Okay. Shy away from repeating stuff. Anything else am I missing here? Okay. If you have any question, any time, call me or text me. Okay. That's my cell number. Okay. Call me or text me anytime. Do not hold on to any assumption, rather wrong assumptions. Okay. That's going to hurt your grade. Okay. And before you send me the text, let me know who you are. Okay. I might not know your number. Okay. So tell me who you are, what class you are from, and then ask me the question. Okay. So is that clear, guys? Awesome. So I guess we are through with the discussion forums. Okay. Let's leave here. Okay. So you should be able to do it, right? This discussion forums here. With that, I'm gonna these 2 discussion forums. Okay. And these discussion forums are based on these cases I posted here. Okay. So first one is chapter 6 here. Chapter 7 is the second one. I have made it very clear here. Okay. And then comes the database. Now, this is a very simple introduction to a database. How will you create a simple database in MS Access? Okay. So I have recorded a very thorough step-by-step videos here, part 1 and part 2. You just click on this one. I hope we have the voice here. So I walk you through the entire case here, and you have to watch entire video. Okay. Because in the last so here you have to follow every step here. and I was getting an error. That's the reason I recorded the second one. And thanks to Microsoft, sometimes it just throws error for no reason. Yeah, here I was getting some error here. Let me show you that error because it could happen. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, see, it was giving me this error, subscript out of range, when I was working on one of the table, assigned table, and it was giving for no reason. And I have shown you, like I went to the web, it looks like a Microsoft glitch. So what I did is, just closed everything and reopen it and it starts working. Okay, and that was the reason I stopped here because I wanted to figure it out what's going on, and then I recorded another one here. And the second one here, here it's just going to be continuing where I left off in the first one. But here at the end, I ask you to develop one more report, which is on your own. Yeah, you have to. So that's a report, you have to do it on your own. Okay, very simple report. But again, if you watch all the complete video, you'll get everything what I have covered. And this is like very easy report compared to the first one. But I just want to make sure that you understand the little concept behind the database. Okay. Now all of you know what is a database, right? It is just a collection of related information, right? That's all it is. What is the difference between MS Access and MS Excel? Any idea?
Access to work with larger database. Larger
Right.
data sets.
Right. What
You can have relationships between your data.
That's the very right answer. Okay, you cannot have a relationship between the tables in Excel. Okay, but you can build the relationship between the tables. Why that is important? Because we always worry about data to PPC, and you should not duplicate the data. And that's a big problem in the Excel, right? So you always duplicate the customer needs 1,000 times. They have seen that in our Superstore 2006 data set, right? When you open it in Excel, you see a lot of duplication. What's the problem with that duplication? If something changes, like the customer name changes, you have to do thousands of places, right? Well, you can do that, but if you have a typo, for computer, it's a different name. It's not the same name anymore. So basically what database is saying, or principles of databases are saying, if there is one customer name, you should only store it at only one place and update it so that don't need to go to multiple places to update it. And that's where the database is coming from. Are you guys with me?
Specifically relational database.
Specifically relational database management system. And that's what MS Access allows you to do. It helps you create a relational database. It helps you create the tables. Table, what is a table? It could be an Excel. When you do in Excel, right? If you store the data in a particular format, like you have columns and rows, that becomes a table. But table is more technical term in the sense that the data has to be stored in a particular way in a table. Like Excel can allow you spaces between the columns and the rows, right? But then once you have spaces between the rows and the column, it's not a table anymore. So a table should be like, should not have any, there are 10 fields, they should be next to each other. There should not be any blank between the records. Okay. And the first row must be the header row. It should have all the field names. That becomes a table. Okay. Now, table is the lowest unit that you must have when you are developing a database. Okay. When you develop the database, the first thing you will always do is create a table. Period. Okay. But if you just have one table, keep in mind that you don't need database. You can just do that in Excel. Okay. database or MS Access comes into the picture when you have many tables and you want to define the relationship between them. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's a very basic introduction to MS Access database here. Yes.
Yeah, there's other small little points I like.
Sure.
If you don't mind,
Sure.
The benefit of relational databases is the data integrity.
Yes.
In Excel, you can put whatever you want in a column. You can format that column as something, and if it's supposed to be a date,
right,
and you put the last name in there, it's going to show you pound signs.
Right.
Hey, we can't process this in the format you want.
Right.
But it's not going to tell you can't really put it in there.
Right.
With the relational database, you specify the data type per column.
Right.
And then you cannot insert data into that cell,
right,
row and column that doesn't fit. It'll give you an error.
Right.
And then referential integrity. So in Excel, when you have different
right,
sheets, you have duplication of the data, and you can do a VLOOKUP and you can grab it based on its reference, right?
Right.
But the thing about relational databases is if you had a contact record and you had a column for a home phone and cell phone, right? You have two fields. What if you need to store a third phone? You have a fourth field or a fifth field, right? And then you name them, and then the name means something, right? In a relational database, generally you don't do that. You have another table called phone.
Right.
And it has, so you have one table called contacts, another table called phone, and then you have a phone ID, and then you have a table that stores the relationship between a contact and a phone. So you end up with a phone table and a contact table and a table in between, and all the table in between does is stores the contact ID and the phone ID.
Right.
So that this contact can have many phones, right? And then you can have a phone type table where you have home and mobile.
Right.
And then the phone table refers to the phone type table. So it allows you to have one specific entry for type information.
Right.
Join on the identifier. So if you misspell or add, you want to change the representation from mobile to cellular or whatnot, you can do it in one row and everything else gets the benefit. So relational databases allow you to enforce data types for particular columns, define a relationship, which is kind of like if you think of Excel workbook, inside there you have worksheets, it's having an ID on a row, and then so you have a worksheet that's called phone, and you have an ID, a phone ID, and that phone ID is on another worksheet next to the contact. So the relational database really is about data integrity versus Excel, which is kind of the Wild West with some formatting.
How many of you, besides you, how many of you have worked with the databases? None of you? Okay. So what kind of database you work on?
We got a couple that work SQL.
A SQL Server and Oracle?
Yeah, we do. Well, there's a front end on it, so we work directly to the database.
Okay.
We store maintenance records and things like that.
Do you directly work on the database tables or something like that, or you just use
No, from the front end.
Front end. Okay. Now, like you were explaining, the key thing in a table is the row ID. Okay. So the row ID is nothing but a primary key, they call it, right? What is a primary key? It uniquely identifies each record in a table, like your social security number. If I know your social security number, I can find out your name, your address, your phone, and everything. So primary key is like that in a table. Okay, if you know the primary key, you can retrieve all the fields from that record. Are you with me? Now, what happens is, let's say you have two entities or two tables. One is customer and one is orders. Okay, very simple entities, right? Two tables, right? What is the relationship? Well, customer places an order. Okay, can customer place more than one order? Hopefully, right. Customer can place 0 or many orders. Are you with me? So I go to Walmart, I don't buy anything. I'm not placing an order. You go to the Walmart, you buy one thing, and then you went again and buy another thing, and you went third time and bought. Each time, each transaction was an order, and one order can have multiple items in that. Are you with me? So how you represent that? We said, okay, a customer can buy 0 or many orders. Are you with me? What about the order? What about the reverse relationship? Can we say that each order is placed by exactly one customer? Right? It's like you and me go to the Walmart, we bought exactly the same thing. What will be different? The order numbers. Are you with me? It doesn't matter what we want, but there were two transactions. Each order belongs to one and only one customer. One and only one customer. Are you with me? So what you do in a table, you have a table here. You have customer ID, and then you have first name, last name, and all the fields, right? Customer ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the primary key. If I know the customer ID is like your social security number, I know your first name, last name, all the details. Are you with me? Right? Likewise, you have a table for the records, orders. So you have order ID, and then you have quantities, and then you have sales, right? Are you with me? So order ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1. You can call it it need not be a numeric, it could be alphanumeric. So 1 order ID, 2 OR, 3 OR, 4 OR. The only constraint is it has to be unique. Are you with me? It has to be unique. Otherwise, it's not a primary. What it does is it adds another column here, and we call it foreign key, which is the customer ID. Are you with me? This is the foreign key here, and this is the primary key here. And we're gonna put this key in this column here. Are you with me? For example, customer 1 bought first 2 order. Customer 3 bought third order, and one customer bought the 4th order. Are you with me? So are we saying that, okay, customer 2 did not buy anything, right? Customer 3 and customer 4, they bought one item or one order. They placed one order. Customer 1 placed 2 orders. Are you with me? And that becomes one-to-many relationship. And that's how you trace the relationship in relational database. How would you do that in Excel? You cannot. What you're going to do is you're just going to repeat the number of times the customer has placed. Like you're going to have this many records here. So if one customer is going to place 100 records, you're going to have 100 times repeating customer ID, first name, last name. Are you with me? What's the problem again? If this guy changes the address, something like that, you have to do thousands of places. And if you do the typo, data integrity will be violated. Another thing, you must agree that if there is an order, there must be a customer. Are you with me? Can there be an order without the customer? No. That's what you call referential integrity, which means that if I try to put in a new order for which I don't have any customer, database will not allow me to do that. It's going to ask me, okay, you are placing an order, but where is the customer? Are you with me? That's how you enforce referential integrity, which tells me that, okay, you got to have a customer first before I can use that customer here as a foreign key. Are you with me? So that's a very simple, logical way I can explain the database. Okay. So again, follow the video. Any question that you may have, text me. I will be more than happy to explain over the phone as well. Okay. So this is what you're gonna do next week. Any? What's the time? Like before the start of next Saturday. Yeah. So should be done by before noon. Okay. So make sure you do that. Any question about the next week? Okay. The following week, the week number 5, you will do the same thing. I'll post the 2 business cases, but here you'll do the solver. Okay. So I'm going to introduce you to how to use Excel solver. All of you know Excel solver? Anybody who does not know Excel solver here? Okay. Excel solver is an optimization solving algorithm. Okay. Like you want to minimize something, like let's say you want to minimize the cost, but there are a lot of constraints. Like you are constrained by the number of hours you have, the number of labors you have, the number of materials that you have. Okay. So you have to sort of minimize the cost while satisfying all the constraints. Okay. It's sort of a linear programming. All of you have done 535? No? Okay. But there is a concept called the course name is quantitative methods. Okay. And there is a concept called linear programming. Okay. Where you have objective function where you want to minimize or maximize something. Probably you always want to maximize the profit and minimize the cost. Okay. Subjected to a bunch of linear constraints. Okay. And solver is a tool that allows you to do that. Okay, so in this case, I'm just gonna quickly. I had to record the video for this one, but I'll do it next week while you will be doing the Excel. But here, I gave you a brief case here. For example, let's say you are manufacturing 3 types of bikes: exercise bike, elliptical, cross trainer, and treadmills. Okay, each one needs certain space, right? So exercise bike needs 12 cubic feet of space, and henceforth. Are you with me? Now you have a plant in Memphis, and from there you want to ship to other 6 stores or 5 stores. Are you with me? And the distance is given, how far they are from the Memphis plant, and the demand is given as well. Are you with me? Now you have a constraints. What are the constraints? You only have 12 trucks available. Each truck can have 1500 cubic feet of space. You only have 6 tractor trailers, and each tractor trailer has 2350 cubic feet of space available. Are you with me? So these are the constraints. You have to satisfy the demand by making sure that these constraints are satisfied, and you have to minimize the cost. Are you with me? So shipping cost is going to be given by, how much, like for per mile for the truck is $1, right? So for example, here the shipping cost is going to be how many trucks I'm using to ship this many products, right? Times the miles I'm traveling times 1. Are you with me? That's how you're going to determine. So everything is there in my video. It's going to be there in my video. Okay. But here, just understand what the solver is going to do. It's going to minimize the shipping costs while satisfying all the volume space required constraint and the number of fleets you have. Because the volume required should be less than equal to the volume you have available between the trucks and the tractor trailer, right? It cannot be possible that you need more volume, but you do not have enough space to ship using your trucks and tractor trailer. That's going to be violating the constraint. Are you with me? That's something you have to keep in mind. So I'm going to post the video for this as well, but I'll do it next week while you will be working on MS Access data set. So that's 5th week. Okay. And the 6th week again, we're gonna have a class here. Okay. And then we'll discuss what's going to be there. Probably I'll have the midterm evaluation that time. Okay. So any questions about week 4 and week 5? Okay, cool. If
So
you have
the access case is due 2 weeks from today.
no, before the start of next Saturday. So you have 1 week.
Okay.
Okay. And the next week is going to be the solver.
Okay.
Okay. So please understand that thing there. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. And you have my phone number if you have any more questions there. So let's do one thing. Let's do some more advanced charts. I'm going to do 3 advanced charts. I want to do the control charts. I want to do the Pareto chart, 80-20 rules, and I want to do a chart on sets, how we can use a set. That's a kind of a new concept in in Tableau. Okay. So I don't want this one. Don't save this one here. I'll go to the week 2 here, and I'll download this file there that I used last time. Okay. So probably I have it in here. Okay, I have it here as well. Okay, so that's the same file. Okay, so if you don't have it, you can go to the week 2 and download those files there. And in the week 1, I posted the questions, right? So I'm going to use those questions here. So we're going to do number 15. That was the one I was working on last time. I mean, we did not do this last time. Okay, so we're going to do it today. But before I start, make sure you guys are with me. Okay. Make sure your file is open and ready to go. I'm going to do 15 here. Okay. So what is the 15 here? What we want to do here is we want to create a chart that shows sum of profit by year and month of ship date. Okay. And the ship mode. And we also want to show the average shipping cost by dragging it to the ship's cart. So so what is the idea here? What I'm trying to do? What I'm trying to do is, based on my prior analysis, I know that shipping cost could be affecting my profit, right? So what I want to do is I want to aggregate all the orders on a monthly basis. Are you with me? On this month, how much total worth of order we have placed, what was the profit, and what was the shipping cost. Are you with me? But not only that, what I want to do is I want to have two sets of orders for every month aggregated by. Are you with me? One is where the discount was more than 8%. Other orders where the discount was less than equal to 8%. I want to see whether the discounting is kind of eating into our profit. Are you with me? So that was the whole logic here. And it's going to be very simple to create here because Tableau is wonderful here. So what we're going to do here is you want to use the ship date, right? So here, make sure, are you guys with me? Make sure you have this data with you. Okay, can I start, guys? Okay, anybody needs more time, let me know, because once I start.
Yeah, this isn't what I.
Doesn't have the orders and measures.
Okay, can you do one thing? Can you download the latest file from the Blackboard?
Yeah, that's.
All I did too.
Okay. Let me see what you got. Okay, it's there.
Depends on my residual plot, but
I guess you have to download the other database as well. Like, but you don't need it for the one. But this is what we are working on right now.
okay.
And then here we have the orders table. Right, that's table we are working on.
Good. Okay.
And
I just got the wrong data.
yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that's it. You can expand order. There you go. Yeah. You guys here with me? Okay. So let's do here. So we are doing the ship date, right? So ship date, we're gonna bring it there. To the column shelf. Okay.
I still don't have the right.
It's giving you error.
Yeah, let me unzip this thing. Sorry,
Yeah, don't worry. No, you haven't been here. It happened. Just understood. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Close this one and be over from there, I guess.
Thanks.
Okay, guys. So we need it for every month. So I'm gonna expand this one here to the quarters, and I'm gonna select month. Now, make sure you understand there are two sets of dates given here. Okay. One is the discrete one, where each month is a discrete point, and the data here is more kind of a continuous range. So it's going to show you continuous progression. Okay. But what I want right now is I want discrete year, and within a year I want discrete month. Are you with me? So that's why I'm going to use year and month, year. They are discrete date format. Okay. You also understand the color of the bills, right? The blue is for the dimension, and the green's gonna be for the majors. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so we have that thing here. What we want to do is we want to show the sum of profits. I'm going to drag the profit to the row shelf here, right? And the ship mode. So we have a are you guys with me? So here, let's spice it up a little bit here. I want to double click on the axis here. Okay, and we're gonna say independent axis ranges for each row or column. That's gonna spread out the chart here, right? And then what I want to do is I want to use circles, right? So you can drop this one down and select the circles from there. What I want to do next is I want to move the same day on the top. Okay, and I just want to show you that you can do that. You can just drag this one and put it on the top here, so that becomes on the top, right? So it gives you a lot of flexibility here. Are you with me, guys? Right? And then comes the shipping cost, average shipping cost. So shipping cost, I'm gonna bring it to the size. Okay, it's doing the sum, but I don't want the sum. I want the average shipping cost. So I'm gonna drop this one down, go to the majors and say, give me the average. Right? And I can increase the size a little bit here of the circles. Okay?
Where was that?
Where are you right now?
To increase the size?
Here, just click on this one.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Now, really, what I want to do here is I want to see first of all, you understand each mark is for a month, right? So understand how Tableau is aggregating the data. It's taking all the transaction for a given month and aggregating it to that month level. That's the level of granularity you have. Are you with me? So it's gonna take. Here, what does this means here? For the same day delivery mode, in the month of January 2012, the average shipping cost was $50, and the total profit for all the orders were around $2,000. Are you with me? So that's something you have to understand how the data is being aggregated. Okay. Now, what I really want to see is whether the high discounting is eating into our profit. Are you with me? And you can see that, wherever there was a loss, there was a high shipping cost. You can see some of the relationship. Are you with me? But what I really want to do is do a set. I want to segregate the orders where the discount was more than 8%. And the way to do that is I'm gonna drop this one down, order ID, and I'm going to say here create set. Okay, once you click on that one, I'm gonna say you can give a name here, discount greater than 8%. Right? I'll go to the condition here. On the formula, I'm gonna say create a set for all the orders where average discount is greater than 0.08. That's 8%. So what it's going to do, basically it's going to create two sets. One is where the orders are greater than 8%. The other set is where the orders are less than equal to 8%. Are you with me? Right? So I'm going to say okay here, and it's going to create a set here, a new major. Okay. And again, you can drop this one down and say edit set here and read this one, how it's doing it. It's gonna select all the orders from the order field where the average discount is greater than 8%. If you know SQL, this is how the SQL looks like. You know, some of you might have had the chance to work with SQL. That's a database language, but you know, it's very intuitive, right? You can read it and understand what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna say okay here. I'm gonna drag this discount to the color marks card here. Okay, and now I'm gonna edit the colors. Let's say edit the color. The one which are in the set, I want it to be orange because that's what I want to highlight. And the one which are not in the set, which is out, I want to highlight with the green because green is good, orange is kind of bad. Okay, guys, with me? Say apply here and say okay here. Now, what do you see here? How will you interpret this chart? Like most of the time, you see that orders where the discount was more than 8%, they were yielding lower profits. Are you with me, guys? Right? So what intelligence is giving you? It's giving you that shipping cost plus the discounting might be eating into our profit, right? And that pattern is consistent across all the ship moves. Are you with me, guys? That's something you have to keep in mind. Okay. So that was number 15. Any questions here? Sets are really a cool thing. It just segregate the data by a certain condition and put them in a set. Okay. So that was one chart. If you do not have any questions, I'm going to go to the next one.
Sure. I don't have the same range for mine goes from -20K to 40K positive. You have different ranges on each one of your.
Yeah, because you have to do the independent access kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just loading on any access here, and we got independent. So it's going to spread out data more for each ship mode type here, right? So that was a kind of a first chart that I want to create here. Let's do another one here, which is number 20. So 20 is there, and then hold on, 18. We're gonna do the first 18. Okay. We're gonna do what we call control charts. Okay. Now all of you understand what is the control chart? So how the control chart looks like. So you collect the data over the period of time, right? You take the average, right? That's your mean value. You take the average of all the orders that's been placed, how much is the mean, that is your central line. Okay. Then you plot upper control limit, which is basically mean plus some standard deviation, 2 times standard deviation in the data. Are you with me? Right. You plot another line for lower control limit, and that is x bar minus 2 standard deviation. Are you with me? And then you, for every time frame, you have the orders, just plot them. Bless you, man. So, and then you connect with them, right? If so far they are within the range, that means the system is under control. Are you with me? But if you have a data point outside the limit, that means there is something going on wrong. Are you with me? So you're gonna stop there and find out why there was an outlier. Are you with me? That's what you call a control chart. That's very common in manufacturing environment, but we'll see the application here as well. Okay. How many of you have probably have you taken operations management class? Okay. So this is the first class you guys taking? Sorry.
Second one.
Second one.
I'm almost done, so I've probably taken.
You might have taken operation manager, right? So there they cover control charts. Okay?
I've seen this in Black Belt training.
Right. 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 So once you understand that concept here, we can apply that concept here. What we want to do is we want to build a control chart that shows whether the variation in profits by the month of order date falls within acceptable bound of ±3 standard deviation for Africa market. Are you with me? So we want to see the variation for the profit in the African market specifically, okay? And we want to plot it by the month of order date. Okay. So month of order date, let's bring that one in here. This is number 18. Right? Month of order date. Okay. Now here I want a continuous format of month, not the discrete format, because I'm looking for a progression over the period of time. Okay. So I would rather go with the continuous range here. Okay. And we want a particular market, right? So how would you do that? I will just drag the market to the filters shop. Are you with me, guys? So when you do that, it's going to give me the option, and I'll select Africa there. And apply here, say OK here. And then we have to plot the profit. So I'm going to drag the profit to the row shelf here. Are you guys with me? Now, what we need to do is we want to find out at least two things: the lower control limit and the upper control limit. Again, plot them. Okay. And we're gonna also do a parameter for the standard deviation. How much standard deviation you want? 1 standard deviation away, 2 standard deviation away, or 3 standard deviation. Are you with me? So we're gonna do a parameter for that one first. Okay, and then we'll do the upper control limit, lower control limit, and the outlier, because we need to somehow tell which one is the outlier by highlighting it. Are you with me? Right? Understand this thing. These all are numerical measures. Okay. And why that's a problem? Because it's often very difficult to show all the numerical measures on the same axis. You can show different dimension on the same axis, but different measures on the same axis is a big problem. Are you with me? You cannot do that. So there is a way to do it. First of all, understand what I'm telling you. Okay. So are you ready? Okay. So let's do the parameter first for the number of standard deviation. So I will right click here. Make sure you have enough space there, whatever it is, and right click here and say calculated field. Not the calculated field, I'm sorry, parameter, create parameter. Okay. Here I'm gonna say number of standard deviation. Okay. Right. And I'm gonna go with the integer here, and I'll say give me the list. Okay, I need to click on the list here, and I'm going to say once you click on the list here, it could be 1 standard deviation away, 2 standard deviation away, or 3. Maximum you go up to 3 standard deviation away. Okay. right? So I'll say okay here. So it's going to create a parameter here, right? I want to show the values for this parameter. So I'm going to right click here, show parameter control. So we can select the values here. Right now, it's not doing anything because it's not connected to our upper control limit and lower control limit. Okay. So we are done with the first thing, right? We wanted to have a parameter control where users can specify how many standard deviation away they want their upper control limit and lower control limit to be. Are you with me? Let's do the upper control limit first here. So I'm going to right click here, say create calculated field here. I'll say upper control limit. That's the name I want to give. And here we have to use a formula. What we have to do is we have to say Windows average of sum of profit. Okay. I'm going to say plus, and you type in my parameter name, number of standard deviation away, times Windows standard deviation, sum of profit. Okay. I can break it down in 2 lines if it's difficult to see. Okay. So window, what does this window averaging does? What it does is, whatever data points are available on the window is going to take the average of those sum of profits. Okay, because we are displaying sum of profits here, and it's going to find the deviation among all these data points. That will be our window underscore standard deviation. Are you with me? All of you with me? Okay, sure.
So the window only does, it applies the filter and everything before, that's why you put a window in there.
Window does it like whatever data points are available on the screen, it's just going to do the averaging of those.
Okay.
So because we are aggregating the data here, sum of profits, right? But we just want whatever is available on the screen. So window is just going to capture whatever is there on the screen and does the averaging for those sum of profits.
Because if you did just sum of profits, you'd get the aftermarket.
No, you might still get the Africa market because the filter is on, but it's not going to do by month. It's just gonna sum up everything and find the average. So that's gonna give you wrong results. Are you guys with me? Okay. So I'm gonna say before I say okay, I can copy this one. I'm gonna say Control C here because it's the same formula for the lower control limit. The only difference is instead of plus, we're going to use the minus. So I'm just going to say Control C here. I'll say OK here. Okay. And I will right click here, create calculated field. I'm going to say lower control limit. I'm going to paste Control V here, change this plus into minus. That's my lower control limit. So I'm going to say OK here. So we did the parameter for standard deviation, upper control limit, lower control limit. Now we need to define one calculated field for the outliers. Okay. So what is the outlier? Outlier something, any points which are lying above the upper control limit or below the lower control limit. Those are outliers. Are you with me? So we're going to do a calculated field here. I'll right click here, say calculated field. So I'm going to say outliers. And here is going to be like simple formula, sum of profit if it is greater than upper control limit or sum of profit is less than lower control limit. Okay, so if it is the right case, it's going to show you the coloring for those outliers. I'm going to say apply here, say okay here. Okay, now what we need to do is okay, the easiest way you can do that, because we have to plot multiple measures on the same axis, is use what we call measured values. Measured values kind of capture all the numerical information. Okay, it's a unique field created by Tableau. Okay, and it has all the numerical fields, and for those names we use measured names as labels for all the numerical fields. Okay, so it's sort of a way to create a dimension out of these measures that can be plotted on the chart. Are you with me? So here I'm going to drag the measured values here, and I'm going to drag the measured names to details. Okay, and when you do that, measured values, it's going to give the profit, lower control limit and upper control limit, everything. Whatever you have measures here, you are looking them here as well. Are you with me? Any questions, guys? Let me know. Now, here is what I'm going to do. The easiest way to do is, since we already have a profit inbuilt in this one, I'm just going to take out the profit because profit is already there. Okay, profit is already there here. Okay, now I'm going to filter it by only fields that I want to see. So I'm going to click on the measure names here and edit filter, and I'm going to say none here, and I'm going to select I want lower control limit, profit here, and upper control limit. Right, that's your control chart right there. Are you guys with me? And you can select the number of standard deviation. You're going to see the limits are getting wider. Right, all we need to do is just color it by what we call outlier, because anything outside these two lines are considered outliers. Are you with me? So I'm going to say here outliers here, true and false field. I'm going to drag it to the colors there. So wherever the points are outside, it will be colored orange. And you will see the difference as you increase the limit. Only few points are outside the control limits, and if you do 3, none are outside the control limits. Does that make sense to you guys? Right, this is the easiest way to do the control charts. Okay, that's something you have to keep in mind. So any questions on control charts? Okay, so I will move to the last one, which is a Pareto chart. Okay, Pareto, you know what is a Pareto chart? 80-20 rules. What is the 80-20 rule?
It's 80% of your problems are
Coming from
20% of your process or items or whatever. it is.
right. It could be 80% of the problems are originating from 20% of the sources, or 80% of the revenue is coming from 20% of the products that you're manufacturing. Are you with me? So in a nutshell, if you control those 20% of the products or the sources of products, you can virtually take care of 80% of your revenues or 80% of your problems. Are you with me? That's what the 80-20 rule is, or that is also known as Pareto chart. Okay. So here what we're gonna do is we're gonna plot the Pareto chart for our product to see which 20% of the products are bringing 80% of the revenues. Are you with me? So let's do that. Here, that's number 20 here. And let's see. So we have to use the sales. Okay. So product ID, we're gonna bring it to the column here, and we're gonna bring the sales to the rows here. Okay. We're gonna do the entire view here. So it's kind of listing all the products here and the sales on the axis here. So first of all, I don't want individual sales. I want the running total of the sales. Are you with me? Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort it in descending order, first of all. So that's kind of giving me the the products that's bringing most of the sales, and that's in decreasing order. Are you guys with me? So next thing I will do is I'll go to the quick table calculation here. Click on running total. So instead of individual sales, it's going to give me the running total, and that's what I'm looking for, right? So running total is just going to keep adding to your earlier sales, and it's gonna, that's why it's keep just going up and up, because it's just adding to the existing sales amount here. Okay. Now, first thing first, what we need to do is I want to change this axis to show percentage. Okay. Right now showing me the running sum of sale in dollar amount. Likewise here, product ID, I don't want to see the product IDs. I want to see the percentage of the products being sold. Okay. So let's do this thing here. First thing I'm going to do, drop this one down here. I will say edit table calculation here. Right. I will select specific dimension. Make sure product ID is selected. Okay. I'm going to add secondary calculation. And here I'm going to say percentage of total. Are you guys with me? So it's going to show you the percentage of total here. So it's not telling me the sales, running sum of sales in percentage. And I'm interested in how many of those products are bringing 80% of the sales here. Are you with me? So right now what we need to do is we need to somehow convert this product IDs into the percentage, and there is a trick for that. So first thing what we're going to do is we're going to drag another product ID to the details shelf here. Okay. Then we're going to convert this dimension into a measure, because we are not interested in product ID. We are interested in count of product IDs. So I'm going to drop this one down, say measure. I'm going to say count distinct. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Now I will drop it down again. Go to the quick table calculation. Say I want running total. Then I will again drop it down. go to the edit table calculation. Then I'm going to say select specific dimension, product ID, add secondary calculation, and I'm going to say percentage of total. Right? That's showing you that 80-20 curve there. Obviously, I don't want to use circle project. The line is more suitable here, so I will say line here. Right? In the analytics pane, now what all I need to do is I'm kind of done. All I need to do is put the reference line. I want a line from 80% here and a line from 20% here. That's going to help me pinpoint, what amount of sales are being brought by those 20% of the products. Are you with me, guys? So here, reference line, go to analytics here, drag the constant line. Let's say the count of product ID here, I'm going to leave it there. And I'll say 0.2, that's 20%. I will do the const line again, but this time for the sum of sales, and I'll say 0.8. Now, so this is sort of giving you which 20% of the products are bringing 80% of the sale. That's what you call Pareto chart here. Okay, so basically you can roughly see here, if you go here, around 30% of the products are bringing 80% of the sales, or 20% of the products are bringing around 70% of the sales. Okay, what does this mean? If I just focus on this first 20% of the products ID, okay, probably you can control 70 to 80% of your sales. Okay, and these later products are not bringing that much sale. These end products are not bringing at all anything. Are you with me? Do you see the significance or importance of this chart here? Any questions, guys? No questions, guys? Yeah. So this is all I had for Tableau for today. Okay. So I'm gonna, if you do not have any questions, I'm gonna stop the recording and post the video on the YouTube. Okay. So I'm gonna stop the recording here.